This is the Elechelf 33Lbs Ice Maker's Countertop Ice Machine Maker Self-Cleaning, a model that's pretty much become part of my daily routine, especially since I host friends and family pretty frequently. With its compact size and clean, modern design, it's hard to miss on my countertop. I remember when I first took the machine out of the box, noticing the glossy gray finish, the slightly rounded corners, and the transparent lid sitting right on top. It almost looks like a small desktop printer or a high-end bread box. But once you open that lid, you know right away it's all about the ice. About its look and my initial impression, the Elechelf Ice Maker just feels solid and sturdy in my hands, but not heavy. It fits nicely into small spaces, which really worked for me because my kitchen isn't exactly a chef's paradise, and counter space gets used up fast. There's a handle built into the lid, making it easy to pop open and check the ice, and the water reservoir fills up quickly with a pitcher. The control panel is simple, just a couple buttons for power, selecting between large or small ice, and the self-cleaning function. There's also a scoop that fits neatly in place and a removable ice basket, both details that seem small but actually matter a lot in daily use. The transparent lid lets me check how much ice is ready without opening it, which is surprisingly convenient if you like everything organized. From my experience of using this machine over the past month or so, I can honestly say that it's taken a lot of stress out of hosting. For someone who never really bothered with ice, I was always grabbing a bag from the gas station down the street, or just running low at the worst times. Having this handy little appliance ready to go has made a difference. It's basically a plug-and-play deal. After letting it settle upright for a couple hours, which is important if you've just moved it, filling it up with fresh water. I use filtered water, which helps the cubes taste better, and closing the lid. It's only a matter of pushing a button. The machine starts up with a faint hum that's about as quiet as my fridge, so I don't have to shout over it or worry about waking anybody up when people crash overnight. Key features that stand out for me are the quick ice process and the self-cleaning mode. The claim is that you get your first batch of ice cubes in about 7 minutes, and in my real experience, it's not far off. If the reservoir has been filled and the machine is plugged in and ready, you get 9 chunky bullet-shaped cubes per cycle, and they're all chewable, just the way I like them. They're called bullet cubes, but they're really a kind of round-edged, hollow cylinder with a smooth finish that's actually great for chilling drinks without watering them down too quickly. I often keep it on the large setting for bigger cubes, especially for sodas and cocktails. If you want smaller, more chewable ice for iced coffee or sports drinks, you just tap the small button. It's easy, and you know right away what's happening because the panel has indicator lights that tell you whether you need to add water or if the ice basket is full. The self-cleaning mode is another big deal for me because one of my biggest worries before buying was maintenance. I've had gadgets before that just built up grime or mold because cleaning them was such a pain, but this one keeps things simple. You hold down the clean button, let it run, and just drain away the water afterward. I try to run the cleaning mode about once a week, and so far there's no odor or buildup. The machine even reuses the melted ice water, so it's energy efficient and pretty eco-friendly, at least as far as kitchen gadgets go. What I like most about this Elechelf machine is the convenience and reliability. If you host even once a month, or just want ice ready for your own daily drinks, it's perfect for that lifestyle. The speed is great, I never have to wait long. During parties, I can basically just check the transparent lid, see how full it is, and scoop some out whenever I need to refill drinks or ice down a bottle of wine in a pinch. The ice stays cold for hours inside, especially if you don't open it all the time, but it's not a freezer, so the ice eventually melts if you leave it sitting too long. The automatic shutoff is helpful. If the bin gets full, the machine stops, so you don't get overflow or hear any odd noises. Plus, it's quieter than some blenders and dishwashers. I've measured it at about 35 dB, which is quieter than my cat's purring, so you don't really notice it running. One thing I do want to mention, it works best if you use water that's already fairly cold. If you pour in warm tap water, it still makes ice, but it can take a bit longer. I mostly use filtered cold water from my fridge and never have issues. And honestly, if you leave the cubes in the machine for hours, they will melt unless you transfer them to your freezer. That's a slight inconvenience, but for me it's not a huge deal, because the whole point is to use the ice as you need it. Usually, I just make as much as I'll use and move the leftovers to my freezer if I have company or expect to need a lot for the next day. From my personal point of view, the only things that bothered me a bit when I first started using it or the need to let the machine stand upright for a couple hours before the first use, and figuring out exactly how much water to pour to hit the max fill line. The manual is clear, but I recommend keeping an eye on that fill line so you don't overdo it. Also, since it doesn't keep the ice as hard as a chest freezer would, you definitely have to be on top of moving larger batches to a freezer, especially if you're planning a big event or leaving it unattended overnight. In conclusion, I'd recommend this for anyone looking for an easy, effective way to keep fresh bullet-style ice on hand, whether for your kitchen, home bar, or even the office break room. It keeps things simple. You don't need to be a gadget wizard, and the learning curve is practically zero, even for someone new to countertop ice makers. The Elechelf is a practical, quietly stylish addition to home life, taking the stress out of ice runs and making it genuinely enjoyable to have chilled drinks whenever I want. The convenience, along with the self-cleaning mode and quick turnaround, really makes it stand out in my opinion. I will share detailed information about the Elechelf ice makers in the comments section, everyone. Thank you for watching.